It's exercise in strength. I don't have so much strength. It's going very hard, and the sounds are a little bit out of tune. Yeah. And the table is not stable. These legs can break any moment. Okay, that's how it is. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Wir lesen from Srimad Bhagavatam. 4th Canto, 19th chapter, text 11. The chapter's title is King Prithu's 100 horse sacrifices. König Prithu Maharaj's 100 Pferdeopfer. Jaramena Shvamedena Jaramena Shvamedena Yachamane Yajuspatim Yachamane yachushpatim Vainye yakya pashung spardan Vainye yakya pashung spardan Apovaha tirohita Apovaha tirohita Jaramena shvamadena Yachamane yachushpatim Vainye yakya pashung spardan Apovaha tirohita Jaramana shvamedena Yachamane yachushpatim Vainye yakya pashung spardan Tirohita Jarane ashvamadena Yachamane yachushpatim Vainye yakya pashung spardan Apovaha tirohita. Ladies? Charamena shvamadena Yachamane yachushpatim Vainye yakya pashung spardan Aporaha tirodita Nasvarahina Yachamane yachushpatim Vainye yakya pashung spardan Apoa tirohita. Thank you. Charamena. By the last one. Ashvamedena. By the Ashvamedha sacrifice. Yachamane, when he was performing the sacrifice. Yachupatim, for satisfaction of the Lord of Yagya, Vishnu. Vainye, the son of King Vena. Yagya Pashum, the animal meant to be sacrificed in the yagya. Spardan, being envious. Apovaha, stole. Tirohita, being invisible. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. When Prithu Maharaj was performing the last horse sacrifice, Ashvamedha Yagya, King Indra, invisible to everyone, stole the horse intended for sacrifice. He did this because of his great envy of King Prithu. Purport. King Indra is known as Shatakratu, which indicates that he has performed 100 horse sacrifices, Ashvamedha Yagya. We should know, however, that the animals sacrificed in the yagya were not killed. If the Vedic mantras were properly pronounced during the sacrifice, the animal sacrificed would come out again with a new life. That is the test for a successful yagya. When King Prithu was performing 100 yagyas, Indra became very envious because he did not want anyone to excel him. Being an ordinary living entity, he became envious of King Prithu, and making himself invisible, he stole the horse and thus impeded the yagya performance. Mukam karoti vachalang pangong langayate girin yat kripa tangahang vande Shri Gurun dinataranam Om Jnanatimiram dasya Jnananjana shalakaya Chakshurun militang yena Tasmai Shri Gurave namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. When Prithu Maharaj was performing the last horse sacrifice, Ashwamedha Yagya, King Indra, invisible to everyone, stole the horse intended for sacrifice. He did this because of his great envy of King Prithu. Srila Prabhupada, he first speaks about the Ashwamedha Yagya in the purport, and that there is not really a killing of the horse. Ashwa means horse, yeah? But it's a rejuvenating process. The horse gets a young body, and this is the proof of the successful performance of the sacrifice, if the horse comes out rejuvenated. And one devotee who spoke on this verse was telling that in this age of Kali, we are not meant to perform Ashwamedha Yagyas. This is not the process for this age, but in this age we perform Harinam Sankirtan. This is our Yagya. Actually, this is the Maha Yagya. And it is said that Nam Yagya, Maha Yagya, Kalo Kalmashanashanam, Krishna Chaitanya Prityarte, Nam Yagya Samarpanam. We perform the chanting of the holy name to please Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this chanting of the holy name has the power to eradicate all sinful reactions of the Kali Yuga. So this is the Yagya performed in this age, and the proof that this Yagya has been performed successfully lies in the outcome of the devotees with bright faces. Yeah, they enter with dark faces, and when they come out of the Yagya of performing the holy name, they have bright faces. Yeah, that devotee said, this is the proof that the Sankirtan Yagya was performed correctly. And as Prabhupada said, he transformed hippies into happies. Yeah? And we could also see that last Saturday in Heidelberg in the Ratha Yatra. It was so ecstatic. Even those who did not hear the holy name before they were clapping hands and dancing in the rhythm of the beat of the kirtan drums, and the kirtaniyas were endeavoring with full heart to sing in a very, very touching way, in a melodious way, in an appealing way. It was so wonderful to see these singers who were empowered actually to reach the hearts of even the non-devotees with the holy name. And everybody had bright faces and was clapping hands and welcoming the party with great joy. They had their mobiles and taking videos, and actually 7,000 cookies were distributed and 500 kilo fruits, half a ton of fruits, Maha Prashadam, was distributed. Yeah. And great sacrifice, a great yagya. And we could see the effect, also devotees afterwards meeting in Meckesheim temple, all of them had bright faces, were very satisfied. So Ashwamedha yagyas are performed, for example, by Yudhishthir Maharaj. He was asked by Lord Krishna to perform 3 of them to make up for his sinful, he was thinking he accumulated some sinful activities after having killed so many warriors in the battle of Kurukshetra. So he was performing 3 Ashwamedha yagyas and the Rajasuya yagya as well. And Prithu Maharaj, he was performing already successfully 99 Ashwamedha yagyas. What is the difference between an Ashwamedha yagya and the Rajasuya yagya? It is said that the Rajasuya yagya, both of them actually are performed by the kings only to establish their reignship and their authority as kings, but the Rajasuya sacrifice allows them entry into the heavenly planets, especially into the court of Lord Indra, but the Ashwamedha yagya allows them even to become Indra. It is said to become Indra, the qualification is to perform 100 Ashwamedha yagyas. So Indra is a post. A qualified being is able to get that post. And the one personality who was at that time, when Prithu Maharaj was performing his Ashwamedha yagyas, taking that post of Indra, he very much got afraid. There is somebody aiming for his post. He has to give up his post if this Prithu Maharaj is successfully completing his 100th Ashwamedha yagya. So this is not possible. This we cannot allow. Indra was very much attached to his post as the king of heaven, which is a very influensive position. He is in charge of the thunderbolt and the rain, and with this he has a very influensive, very powerful position, and he did not want it to be sent away from that post. So he had to invent a plan to prevent this 100th Ashwamedha yagya of Prithu Maharaj to be fulfilled. So what he did, he became invisible, and actually in the next few verses we will hear how he did that. He took on the saffron robes of a mendicant. And we will also later on hear that this was practically the beginning of like hypocrisy in the persons of renunciates who sometimes take to the saffron robes just to get some prestige and some maintenance. Yeah. That was practically beginning from that incident with Lord Indra. So in the disguise of a mendicant, he came and he stole away the horse, which was meant to be offered in the sacrifice. And Prithu Maharaj's son, he was chasing after Lord Indra, and because he showed himself as a sadhu in saffron robes, the son did not want to shoot on him. But then it was Narada Muni who convinced his son, no, this is Indra, is just cheating in this guise of a sadhu, is not a real sadhu, you can shoot your arrows on him. And the story went on. We will hear that in the next few verses. I would just now like to point out this nature in Lord Indra, which also has been spoken about in the previous verses already, but it's something what we can discuss from different angles, different viewpoints, and it's good actually to have a look on that, because envy is something what is actually deep in our conditioned nature, kind of inbuilt, that understanding of I am better than the other one, I'm greater than the other one, I'm more intelligent than the other one, and I cannot allow someone else to overcome me and to take my position. Something which is very deep in our conditioned nature. This we have to be aware of. It's a part of the conditioned nature. And for a conditioned living being, it's somehow also justified to defend one's position in the material world, since our aim in the material world as conditioned beings is to go for name, fame, position, adoration, all of that. Yeah, we want to establish that somehow or other. But on the path of devotion, it is an obstacle. It's a great obstacle. It's actually one of the qualities which is not even able to be put in Krishna's service. We have in Prem Bhakti Chandrika by Narodam Das Thakur mentioning of few qualities which are on the first sight not conducive for spiritual progress, but then one by one he puts them, he gives examples how to put these, let's say, undesired qualities in Krishna's service, but with envy he didn't give an example. I will read to you these verses. He says, the 6 enemies, lust, anger, greed, illusion, pride, and envy, and the 5 senses of sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch reside in my body, but I am unable to control them. Although I hear and understand repeatedly that one should serve Krishna with all his senses, still I cannot accept this fact with firm determination. And in the next text he writes, I will engage lust, anger, greed, illusion, envy, and pride in their proper places. In this way, I will defeat the enemies, and with ecstasy in my heart, I will worship Govinda without difficulty. And then he gives the examples in the following text. How he will engage these 6 enemies in Krishna's service. He says, I will engage my lust in eagerness to serve Krishna. And I will use my anger against those who are envious of the devotees. I will be greedy to hear the topics of Hari in the association of the devotees. I will be illusioned if I fail to achieve my worshipable Lord. And I will feel proud to chant the glories of Krishna. In this way, I will engage them in their respective duties. But the quality of envy is not there under these examples. He just wrote, I will use my anger against those who are envious of devotees. So we see that enviousness is a quality which is opposite of devotion. Jai Shishi Prahlad Lakshmani Shinga Bhagavan Ki Jai. Is fully opposite of devotion. We hear in Bhagavad Gita, in the first verse of the 9th chapter, where Krishna tells to Arjuna, because you are non-envious, I will now teach you the most confidential knowledge of devotional service. Chapter 9 in Bhagavad Gita is called Most Confidential Knowledge. And the qualification to hear about this most confidential knowledge of devotional service is to be non-envious in the heart. Anasuyave is the word what Krishna uses there. In the Bhagavatam also, in the beginning already, it speaks about the non-enviousness required to appreciate and to hear Bhagavatam correctly. There the word is used as nirmatsaranam. Matsara is also meaning envy. And this is definitely something we have to work on to give it up. How to give it up? How to work that this quality is not anymore there in our heart? A devotee, actually, he is supposed to be happy if he sees other devotees progressing on their spiritual path. On the spiritual path, there should not be a competition amongst one another. I'm better than him. I'm faster than him. I joined before him, so I'm more advanced. Yeah. This is all on the bodily platform. A soul may have been able to advance in the past life quite a distance, further than us, and he comes to the movement of devotees already mature or more mature than many of that specific community. And we may still think, oh, he's a young bhakta. Yeah? But he is already quite mature, quite advanced, because in his past life, he already went a far a distance on that path. And he brings that along. So who are we to judge anyone about his progress and his advancement? And who are we to be envy on someone who has the intention to progress seriously and sincerely on his path? We should be happy if someone of the devotees is on the conviction, going that determination to engage all his possible time and endeavor in his progress with all sincerity and seriousness. If somebody surpasses us, we should even pray for him and give along our best wishes. And yes. And when you are there, then remember us. Yeah? Remember us and pull us also up. With the mercy of the devotees, we can make advancement with the blessings of the devotees. So instead of expressing enviousness towards devotees who might be better, knowing more verses, knowing more stories, chanting more rounds, being more absorbed, and we should serve them in all humility. Serve them and take the humble position, asking and calling out for the mercy of the Lord and the mercy of these devotees to somehow assist them in their advancement. And by assisting them, we also help ourselves to advance. Because what happens if we serve the devotees? We become purified. Automatically we become purified. It says, Nashta prayeshva badreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. All the impurities of the heart are nashta, almost, nullified, almost. If we do service to the Bhagavatas, which are of two kinds. One Bhagavata is the book, Bhagavat. And the other Bhagavat is the devotee Bhagavat. So if we take the humble position and serve the devotees with eagerness and humility, then this will have the purifying effect on our heart, that we advance along with that devotee. Yeah? That's the way to progress, not to have enviousness and anger. Oh, he surpassed me. Now I have to catch up. Yeah, but we do that by taking the humble position. The way up is the way down for a devotee. Yeah? In material situations, we have to use our elbows to climb up the stairs and knock out our rivals. Yeah? But on the spiritual path, it's the opposite. We take the lowest position. And we serve the others. And by doing so, we accelerate our progress. But by using our elbows and trying to exceed over others, we reach the opposite. Yeah? We prolong our journey instead of accelerating the process. Trinada pisonichena Taror apisahishtana amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. If we want to come on the level of kirtaniya sadahari, to constantly chant the holy name of the Lord, which actually Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Bhajan Rahasya equals with the level of Nishta. Nishta is a very high level already. It means we surpass the level of anartha nivriti. Anartha nivritti means to get rid of our impurities in the heart. Like these impurities, what we heard, these enemies in the heart, like lust, greed, envy, illusion, anger. So if we succeed to overcome that level, then we come on the platform of Nishta, means regularity on our spiritual practice. There we are able to chant the holy names continuously. And what is there for a qualification in such a devotee? This is given in this Trinada Pisonichena verse. 4 qualities are there. More tolerant than a tree, more humble than the straw in the street, not demanding any respect and giving respect to anyone and everyone. It is said, even if a devotee is facing to be killed, he is paying respect to that person. He is not feeling any grudges, any bad feelings towards that person. Like we see in the perfect example of Prahlad Maharaj. He was not feeling bad about his father. Even he asked the Lord to please save him. Yeah? Forgive him his offenses. Yeah? He did not want to have any other blessing than the blessing to please save my father. Forgive him his offensive attitude. This is the attitude of a devotee. He is not at all feeling anything bad towards a devotee, and especially not the quality of envy. This is absent in the heart of a pure devotee. And if we manage to work on these qualities of becoming more humble than the straw in the street, as we are smaller than the straw in the street, what is the size of the soul? It is given the description in Shastra. We take the tip of a hair and we split it in 100 parts, which is very difficult. If you take a tip of a hair and you split it in 100 parts, but that's not all. Then you take one of these 100 still parts of it, the tip of a hair, and you split it again in 100 parts. What you have? Nothing, it's invisible. But this is the size of the soul. So definitely the soul is smaller than the straw in the street. Then more tolerant than a tree. A tree has to stand exposed to all the weather and climates, snow and heat and storm, and dogs come and pee on the tree's stem, or some lovers come and they put a little heart engraved it in the tree, and the tree doesn't complain, not at all. Sometimes also I observed that during Kartik months in Vrindavan, when huge crowds of ladies come for the Tulsi Puja. It may be the same for the Prabhus, but I, of course, observed the ladies' part, which is more near to, I'm standing there myself, and I see how all the ladies come and want to water Tulsi Devi. And she is shaken back and forth and getting almost overwatered, because the Indian Matajis, they're very eager to water Tulsi with 3 spoons of water as it's proper. 3 drops would be enough, which is fitting in a spoon already. But they take 3 spoons, and what Tulsi is getting a huge amount of water and getting shaken like anything. But still, she's coming again and again and again every day and allows us to serve her in this way. She accepts this service from us in a humble position. so more humble than the tree, and respecting everyone, even though they may have bad feelings towards us, they may call us with bad names, they may not be friendly towards us. But a devotee always takes the humble position and respectful position, knowing well that whatever comes from another person, another being, is just a reaction of some past deeds, what he performed. As Radhanath Maharaj sometimes says, don't blame the instrument of your karma. If something happens to us caused by another living being, not even only by a devotee, by any other living being, we should not blame that being, that person, that entity, knowing well that this entity has been used in the hands of the Lord to give us some reaction. So we should not have bad feelings. And we should always have the position of serving in a humble way, respecting everyone and not demanding any respect for ourselves. Not saying, I did that. It was me who did it. The respect is for me. No, the Lord knows who did it, and He will give the blessings. And the devotee always considers himself only as the instrument in the hands of his spiritual master. If he was able to accomplish something great, then it was just by the mercy and the blessings of his spiritual master. Without the empowerment of the spiritual master, a devotee is not able to accomplish anything. So he is not taking credit for himself, but he is giving all credit further to his spiritual master. In that way, we can save ourselves from that quality of enviousness in our heart. By serving the devotees and by cultivating these 4 qualities which are there in the Trinada Piso Nichena verse. Hare Krishna. This is what I wanted to share with you today. Are there any questions or comments? Yes, Ras. Shyamarasa.
Es wird gesagt,
dass sometimes we say,
wenn man etwas sagen möchte über eine Person,
when one wants to say something,
etwas Gutes, wenn man über eine Person spricht, über eine andere Person, soll man etwas Gutes sagen.
Yeah, if one speaks about another person, one should speak something good about them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Und wenn man nichts Gutes zu sagen hat, dann sollte man nichts sagen.
And if one does not have anything good to say about the other person, one should keep silence.
Ja, so wenn man aber jetzt trotzdem etwas sagt, was nicht so gut ist, und weil man einfach sich Luft machen möchte, oder weil man einfach oder ja, man spricht einfach manchmal über jemanden, was vielleicht nicht so gut ist, ist das dann eine Form von Neid?
The question is, if one still now has to say something bad about the person because of being agitated about that and that person, and one has to kind of give some space to that anger to come out. The question is that an expression of enviousness? First of all, yes, if we have such feelings of anger in ourselves which are caused by another person's behavior, and we feel that it needs to be expressed, it needs to come out somehow. So we may reveal ourselves in confidence to a senior devotee according to Rupa Goswami's advice, tadati pratigrinati guyam makyati prichati bhunkte puchayate chaiva satvidim pritilakshanam. We should reveal ourselves in confidence. And that devotee, senior devotee, will be able to pacify. He will listen and he will be able to help us to overcome that anger towards that person, to help to take the spiritual viewpoint of the whole situation. It might be caused by envy. It might be caused by envy. It might have other reasons as well. That person may have done something, or you may have, the other way around, you may have done something to that person in a past life. And now it comes back as a reaction. So, if we have such feelings in us, which we feel, oh, this was not right, and I need to have some opportunity to express it, go to a devotee to whom you can reveal yourself confidentially, and that devotee may be able to help you to understand that this was a reaction, what you got on an activity, what you did in the past. In such situations, it might be painful to face, but it's a fact that we have to have a certain responsibility for it. It's not that we are the poor guys and we are now getting the anger of that person. We did something to that soul, either in this life or in the past life, which caused that person to act in the way as the person did. And we have to face that responsibility towards the whole situation and see what is in us, what needs to be changed, so that I'm not feeling, again, anger towards that person. It has a lot to do with forgiveness and with understanding that we are not better than the other one, and that somehow this was now a reaction caused or due to my own misdeeds in the past. Yeah? The devotee always takes the spiritual position. He's not letting himself come down on a material bodily platform. If we do so, if we feel envious and we feel like we have to revenge, we will just continue the cycle of reactions. But if we take the humble position and says, okay, this was a reaction, I deserved it, I don't know why, please, my dear Lord, tell me what I have to learn from that, then the cycle of reaction stops there for us. For that person, it might continue. This is that person's story, not ours. But for us, there, the cycle of reactions may stop. Hare Krishna. Yes?
You explained
microphone.
Hare Krishna. You explained in the previous ages.
It's not on.
Haribol. You explained in the previous ages there was Ashwamedha Yajna performed and Rajasuya Yajna. And then also you said that, but nowadays, in this age of Kali Yuga, we do the Sankirtan Yajna, Harinam, Sankirtan. So, my question is to get a clear understanding, because we do the Harinam Sankirtan Yajna actually simply for the purpose of making spiritual advancement, because we want to become Krishna conscious. But when we hear the stories about the Ashwamedha Yajnas and so on, and also you explained that one does 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas, one can become Indra, that sounds very Karma Kanda style. But at the same time, as you compared it, like at that time it was Ashwamedha, nowadays it's Harinam Sankirtan Yajna. So there is some similarity, but on the other hand, And also then referring to this, then in the Kali Yuga there is no kind of chance to become Indra? Because through Ashwamedha Yagya we can, but... Or maybe you can clarify.
Yes. So, yes, the Ashwamedha Yagyas and Rajasuya Yagyas, they are mentioned in the Vedas, in the, I think, Samaveda, in some of the Brahmanas from the Samaveda. They are mentioned there, the whole procedures, and of course they are for fruitive results, as the Vedic scriptures are mostly for fruitive results. Karma Kanda. And also Yudhishthira Maharaj, he performed them to become free of the sins of having killed so many souls on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So the one question, is it then in Kali Yuga not possible to become Indra? To perform Ashwamedha Yagyas is in this time, Kali Yuga, not anymore possible. What is the performance of an Ashwamedha Yagya? There is a king who sends a horse for 1 year over the globe, and whichever country that horse enters, the army of the king follows, and if that specific king of the country where the horse enters catches or captures the horse, that means they want to fight with that specific king. And if they win the fight, then the sacrifice cannot take place. But if they lose the fight, then they are kind of obliged to let the horse free, and the horse wanders further, and this conquered country is under the reign of the king who aspires to perform the Ashwamedha Yagya. So in this way, the horse goes around for 1 year, and if it comes back after 1 year, then that means all the countries what the horse visited are under the reign now of that king, and the Yagya can be performed. But that was something done in Dvapara Yuga, as we hear from Yudhishthira Maharaj, and also previous yugas. But Kali Yuga is just too short, and I mean, for a horse to go around for 1 year, that would be possible, but to also have the qualifications of a king to act like that. And where do we have the qualified kings to act in such a way? So Kali Yuga is not meant to perform Ashwamedha sacrifices. But we hear that in Kali Yuga, the process for advancing is the performance of Harinam Sankirtan. Of course, this has nothing to do with fruitive activities, but this is the yagya, this is the sacrifice which is justified and qualified to be done in the Kali Yuga, the only sacrifice. Other sacrifices are just not anymore performable. So therefore the comparison with the Harinam Sankirtan, the Nam Yagya is there. Because of the sacrifices as such, which in Kali Yuga, there are many other sacrifices next to Ashwamedha Yagya. There is a Gomedha Yagya, there is a Vyachap Yagya, which all are for fruitive benefits. But they are just not anymore performable in this time and age. So if we want to perform a sacrifice in this Kali Yuga, then we go for Harinam Sankirtan. That is the connection. Yeah. And this is not just bringing fruitive results, but much, much, much more than that. Yeah? It is said, Akama sarva kama va moksha kama udavradi divrena vakti yogena yacheta purushamparam. If we are akama, if we do not have desires, sarvokama, if we are full of desires, even for fruitive results, if we desire liberation, moksha kama, in any case, we should worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, this is in all situations, even for those who aspire for fruitive results, definitely the best form of sacrifice for this time and age. Yes?
Those who in previous ages performed Ashwamedha Yajna, they also made spiritual advancement and they also pleased Krishna with that?
In the case of Yudhishthira Maharaj, it was even Krishna himself who inspired him to perform 3 Ashwamedha Yajnas. So definitely Yudhishthira Maharaj pleased Krishna to do that. And Yudhishthira Maharaj, he is already a pure devotee of the Lord. For him, he reached already perfection in his devotional practice. He gave example as a perfect king to perform these Ashwamedha Yajnas, but for him it was not necessary. He was already self-realized. So basically these Yajnas give fruitive results. But as we hear also Prithu Maharaj, I mean he was a Shakti Avesh avatar. He was already the Lord himself performing 99 Ashwamedha Yajnas. No? Also for him, no need to become realized. He is already, but he's performing it to set an example as a king. Because it's the duty of the king to establish himself as the proper reign, as the proper king, and to perform these sacrifices, to also show his prowess and his might. But it's not for actual spiritual advancement. These kings were already Rajarshis, they were already great self-realized souls. Yeah? Yes?
Isn't mentioned in Nectar of Devotion the quality of envy?
In Nectar of Devotion, quality of envy. In which part?
I don't exactly remember. I'm not so sure, but I think I remember having read it.
Okay.
But I would need to check. But then I was confused because what you were mentioning.
Maybe someone of you might know. I don't remember. I also would need to check if it's there. I don't remember. Probably. No?
I cannot 100% confirm, but it sounds positive to me. I don't know 100%, but I think also there's something.
Okay, so we would need to check that. I cannot recall it right now. Welcome. Good. Thank you very much, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.